standing
of the undergraduate student government.
of the undergraduate student government.
All right, thank you and congratulations. Now officially taken office as undergraduate student government representatives. As such, you now have the privilege and obligation to vote on the rest of the meeting's proceedings. The next order of business is roll call. May we please commence roll call?
Hey everyone, if I butcher your name, just talk to me afterwards or send me an email with like the correct pronunciation. Okay, student trustee Ha.
Present.
President Almendras.
Present.
Vice President Fernandez.
Present.
Chief of Staff Patino. Here. Speaker of the House Joe.
Present.
Treasurer Basta.
Present.
Graphic designer Ed Ramahi.
Present.
Chairperson Thumu. Chairperson Chidari. Present. Chairperson Martaza.
Present.
Chairperson Alvarez.
Present.
Chairperson Celestino.
Present.
Representative Youssef. Representative Beltran. Representative Ahmed. Representative Amina Ahmed. Representative Cruz. Representative Perdrew. Representative Guerrero.
Present.
Representative Hebeli. Representative Sharma. Representative Ansari. Representative Dua Ansari. Representative Giron.
Present.
Representative Erlbacher.
Present.
Representative Roman. Jesse Roman.
Oh, present.
Representative Patel. Present. Representative Cordova. Present. Representative Bilaska. Present. Representative Vodila. Present. Representative Hannah. Lauren Hannah. Representative Dasgupta. Present. Representative Nguyen. Present. Representative Zafar. Present. Representative Saadi. Present. Representative Mehta. Present. Representative Rodriguez.
Present.
Representative Ali. Present. Representative Zhang.
Present.
Representative Blinn.
Present.
Representative, I'm so sorry, Preobrazhenskia. Here. Representative Dean. Present. Representative Alonso. Present.
All right, thank you so much. The next order of business is reading and approval of the minutes. Please take this time to read over the minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes? If not, then the minutes will stand as approved. The next order of business is reading and approval of the agenda. Please take this time to read over the agenda. Are there any corrections to the agenda? Yes?
I would like a motion to amend the agenda.
Yes, you can make a motion.
I would like to add resolution 2022 F4 5004.
There's been a motion to add resolution 2022 F4 5004 to the agenda. Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, then the motion carries. Are there any other amendments to the agenda? If not, then the agenda will stand as approved. The next order of business is public comment. Is there any public comment? If not, we will move on to our next order of business, which is guest speakers. Are there any guest speakers present at this time? If not, we will move on to our next order of business, which is old business. First, we have resolution 2022 F3 5003. Treasurer Kumbasa, would you please read this for us?
Absolutely. All right, so this is the USG General Body Meeting Catering and Room Reservations Resolution. Whereas it is constitutionally mandated for the undergraduate student government to conduct general body meetings at a minimum of 8 times per semester, and whereas the size and operational needs of the general body meetings require space beyond what the student government office can provide. Whereas the general body meetings have traditionally provided catering for members, then let it be resolved that the undergraduate student government shall allocate up to $5,500 to fund catering services and cover any room costs for the fall 2022 semester. And let it further be resolved that all unspent funds after the last general body meeting shall be returned to the budget.
Thank you so much. We will now move on to questions and comments. Are there any questions, comments, or amendments to this resolution? As a reminder, we will be voting on this tonight. Yes, Chair recognizes Representative Flynn.
Since we usually have a lot of food waste in our refrigerator in the office, is there a way that we can manage how much food that we're ordering throughout the semester so we don't have to throw so much food out all the time?
We'll let Matthew answer this question.
Yes.
Yes, so we did realize there's a lot of waste in the past year, but we're going to, reduce waste by making sure that we only buy food that will be eaten during that meeting. Now, Quinn and I have been reading a lot the past month just to talk about this. I think we've found a system that could work to reduce waste and also save us money. So most likely it will be in the form of like a Google form where we'll send it out to all the representatives and you guys can fill out what you want your meal to be, or to be the other option, which we just pick 55 meals that representatives can pick up, but we won't have the excessive amount of waste that we had last year.
Chair recognizes Representative Guerrero.
Following on that point, I know in the previous year we had to have packaged meals because of COVID regulations. Do you know if it's possible for us to have kind of like a buffet style as we used to have in the past? I think that would also reduce waste as well as just like plastic use.
So this is also something that we've spent a lot of time considering and talking about. Thank you very much for bringing this up. We've decided that out of convenience, it's better for us to order the prepackaged meals so that representatives and other student government members can just take the meals to go as we finish the meetings. And there's also a lot of confusion as to what the university's policy is in us eating like in an event. So we're just gonna stick with the to-go boxes for the meantime. And just going back to your question, Sam, I'm also going to be sending out a Google form today that is regarding like just general dietary restrictions and yeah, I'll mention that more later, but that's just going to give us a rough estimate of how many we're going to be needing to order, and it's definitely going to be reducing the waste. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any other questions at this time? Chair recognizes Representative Guerrero.
Sorry, I have a follow-up. I recently attended one of the, right now we have the Latino Cultural Month happening, and I attended one of those events which are hosted by UIC, and they had like a buffet style. So I am assuming the regulations have like loosened up. I think if it would be possible for us to have a buffet style might be better, just because in the past, like there wasn't food left and members were able to actually during the meeting go grab food, go back, have some drinks. I think it also made the meetings a little bit more, whenever we extend the meetings, there's like 2 hours, it also made it a little bit easier. So I'm just suggesting for us to revise that point if possible. It also would reduce a lot of plastic waste, but I also understand if we're just gonna stick with packaged food. But I just wanted to mention that I believe regulations have loosened up.
Absolutely, thank you. So that's something that we'll look into as time goes on. We don't necessarily have to stick with what we start with. So I think we will start with ordering the to-go packages, but as time moves on and we answer some more of these questions that we have, absolutely we'll be looking into that. Thank you.
Are there any other questions at this time? If not, we will move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting Resolution 2022 F3-5003, please say aye. Aye. All that oppose, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, then Resolution 2022 F3-5003 has passed. The next order of business is new business. First, we have Resolution 2022 F4-5004, You should have all gotten it in the reply to the packet email. So please pull that up and Treasurer Quimbasa, if you would like to present this again.
So this is the USG office supplies resolution. Whereas the undergraduate student government is responsible for the maintenance and upkeep for its designated office at the Student Center East. And whereas it is customary for the Treasury Committee to set aside funds in order to purchase office supplies for aforementioned maintenance and welcoming working environment for all members, then let it be resolved that USG shall allocate $500 towards purchasing office supplies for the fall 2022 semester. Let it further be resolved that all unspent funds shall be returned to the budget before the end of the fall 2022 semester.
All right, thank you so much. I will now open the floor up for discussion. Are there any questions or comments? Chair recognizes Representative Erlbacher.
Yeah, so what office supplies in particular would we be getting?
Yeah, so things we'll be buying are, ink for the printer. I think we finally figured out how to use that printer. Other things that are kind of missing throughout the office, such as pens, markers, tape, staples for the stapler, just small things like that for all USG members to use when they're in the office if needed. Of course, those are the things I can think of at the top of my head. Again, this is an allocation, so anything that's really needed for the office, like cleaning supplies as well, will be used in this allocation.
Are there any other questions? Recognizes Representative Dean.
Actually, this is not really related, but the coffee maker in the office, I think it's been there for a really while already, and I don't feel like if anybody like tried to like watch it, and like it's been there, and like a lot more people they use it without knowing that. So like, should we like throw it away if I didn't want to like watch it or anything? Is that what happened? Like, yeah, sorry.
Thank you for bringing that up. I don't think it directly pertains to this particular resolution, but we will keep that in mind. Thank you so much. Are there any other questions regarding this resolution? Okay. So just to clarify, when this allocation is made, that means we won't be making a new resolution for each purchase of a new office supplies.
For this semester, yes, unless we somehow end up spending more than $500, then we will have to introduce a new resolution, but for this semester, yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Are there any other last questions or comments on this resolution? If not, we will be voting on this resolution next week. The next order of business is items for discussion. Are there any items for discussion? If not, we will move on to the next order of business, which is ex officio reports. May we please have a report of the student trustee?
All right, good evening, everybody. I have a couple of things on my officer report, but the first thing I'll go over is my open letter to all the newly appointed representatives. First of all, I'm sure you'll hear from everybody else, but congratulations, it is very well deserved. As a recent former member of the House of Representatives myself, I'm so excited for all of you. There are endless possibilities in which you can use USG for as an outlet to grow, as an outlet to create change. So I'm not going to read this letter verbatim for time convenience. So I do encourage all of you to read it. It'll also be on my social media, so please like and subscribe. So on to my actual officer report. It was a pretty busy week for me. First things, I attended the September Board of Trustees meeting in Urbana-Champaign. It was wonderful connecting with everybody and actually being there in person. I also got a chance to talk with the Vice Provost to discuss USC's academic retention, enrollment trends, and so forth. I am continuing to lobby the USC Faculty Senate with USG Vice President Fernandez to create that working group for reading days, as well as working with USG President Almendras to finalize plans to bring our Public Safety Commission to UIC's Public Safety Board. I'm coordinating with the Chancellor's Office to explore pathways to create a Metro UPass. I understand this is an initiative that started a while ago, but for whatever reason it fell off, and I want to figure out why it did, and if it's feasible for us to restart it again. And then finally, I attended the monthly Health Professions Student Council meeting. I'm working with their Vice President, Akshay Raju, to raise student engagement and involvement, as well as intercollegiate partnerships. So, Michelle, if you could scroll down to the member colleges. These are all of the colleges that fall under the HPSC umbrella. So any of you new representatives or even executive board members, if this falls within your postgraduate plans, not even necessarily UIC, but somewhere in your postgraduate plans, please reach out and we'll get you connected with them. And you can find ways to help you mold however many years you've left at UIC, so you have a competitive portfolio. And are you for any questions?
Thank you so much. Are there any questions?
If not, the report of the student trustee will be filed. The next order of business is officer reports. May we please have the report of the president.
Good evening, everyone. I'll start with my report from the previous week because it was pretty important. So we met with the IT department. We talked about things like Wi-Fi on campus, the laptop loan program, and the innovation center. They assured us that they are building up more infrastructure in terms of Wi-Fi on campus, especially in high concentrated areas like Student Center East and the library. Additionally, they mentioned that the money allocated for the laptop loan program has all been used up, so they unfortunately cannot give more laptops to students who may need to borrow one. Additionally, I met with the athletics department that week to talk about our partnership and how we can promote the sports games that'll be upcoming. I'll introduce our incentive program that we've come up with in the resolution. And I'll be introducing the weeks in the future once the athletics department sends me the list of 3 games that they want USG to help with. And if you see in my report from last week, you'll see a link that leads to a website that shows our peer institutions. So when you do your research on your projects or initiatives and you want to find a university that you want to compare UIC to, you should go to this website because this is all the universities that UIC will take seriously in terms of comparing. And yeah, so the counseling center meeting from last week was rescheduled to be this week, same time on Friday. After we meet with the counseling center director, we'll meet with the campus care director to follow through with our project on campus care. And finally, the public safety board did not meet to talk about the bylaws. We had a very busy meeting with guest speakers, but I will introduce the USG Campus Safety Commission in the next public safety board. But I did send them the details for the members to look over. But yeah, going into this week's report, last week I met with Chief Booker to talk about town hall and safety. That'll include Chief Booker, the Chief of Police, Ruth George's mother, and someone from USG. We also talked about behavioral health mobile crisis response proposal. So this is a team professionals that will help intervene if UIC police is not needed. For instance, if let's say someone's overdosing, maybe it's too hard to send the police over. So this crisis response team will be that group of people to deal with that situation. And yeah, I met with the wellness center director last Thursday. So they want us to help with a food drive, a food and clothing drive for veterans. Additionally, we talked about the food donation swipe program. Basically, this program will be If you're a dorm student or buy swipes, you get like 300 or 150 depending on what you buy. Basically, not all students use all of those swipes, so we want to create a food donation swipe program. There's a lot of opportunity for this as a Chartwell contract is under review. She also shared some ideas for mental health events that the Mental Health Coalition can work on. Finally, yeah, I just want to say that I've opened up my office hours. They're every Tuesday from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. In the Student Government Vice President and President office. It's on the 3rd floor in SCE. And some meetings that will occur this week are the Dean of Libraries meeting, the Council Center meeting, and the Student Fees Advisory Committee meeting. But I yield my time for questions.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions regarding Matthew's report? If not, the report of the president will be filed. Next, we have the report of the vice president.
Hey everyone, so since we didn't go over reports last week, this is sort of a combination of 2 weeks. So I'm still awaiting a response from Donald Wink on the working group for reading days, as Mohammed was talking about. I followed up for another response. Hopefully something can happen with that soon. We've had 2 e-board meetings since reports last elapsed. I had a athletic council meeting 2 Wednesdays ago. Something interesting was they spoke on how they were advocating for the mental health of athletes, and the program they used seemed to be successful. So I hope to learn more about that and see if it's like translatable to non-athletes. I spoke with the Office of SEE 2 Wednesdays ago on implementing the USG bulletin board and general use bulletin board right by the, it's a blue pillar near Dunkin' Donuts. So we'll be able to promote our events a little bit better. And I'll be coordinating with some chairs from our e-board, such as legislative affairs, to see about the rules and practicality of how students will be able to implement the general use board. The director of campus housing committed to implementing resolutions on student expression from last year. I'm going to meet with her just to discuss this confirmation and how USG might be able to collaborate more with housing. I was able to communicate with the counseling center over email about our liaison, and they're implementing a new system. Fortunately, we're meeting with Raphael, as Matthew mentioned, this Friday, so we'll be able to clear up anything about the counseling center there, and also talking about if we can get a liaison back. And as Matt was mentioning, we're still dealing with campus care for mental health, and Matthew and I met last Wednesday, and we're going to meet again this week. And Joy from CSI is hosting a meeting on homecoming week this Wednesday, so I'm going to attend that and see how USG can help with the tailgate this year and homecoming in general. I yield for questions.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions regarding Michael's report? If not, the report of the vice president will be filed. Next, we have the report of the treasurer.
First and foremost, I want to congratulate all of the newly elected representatives. I'm very excited for everything that we'll get done this semester. So first of all, I met with a senior director of catering services today. The meeting went spectacular, and we're expecting to have catering at the next general body meeting next Monday. Additionally, I mentioned this earlier, but I am sending out a form with just preferences for catering. A lot of it is like dietary restrictions, but it is extremely important that everyone here fills out this form, so we have like an accurate number of the number of boxes that we order, as well as the specificities of what we are ordering. So I also have had ongoing conversations with Director Jair about funding for a potential initiative. We're still talking, and that it's going very well so far. I also attended a mental health coalition meeting and answered some questions regarding funding. And I met with representatives who are interested in the Treasury Committee. But other than that, I yield my time for questions.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions regarding Quinn's report?
If not, then the report of the treasurer will be filed. Next, we have the report of the speaker. So congratulations and welcome, new representatives. Yay, we're so grateful to be working with you all, and I know you'll do great things. But first, some housekeeping tasks. So I sent out a couple forms last week to be filled out. Just a reminder, please fill out the committee preference form and the orientation availability form by midnight tonight, because you will be assigned to a committee tomorrow. This is super important, so make sure you're doing this. We will be having our new member orientation within the coming weeks, so we can really hit the ground running and get started on our initiatives. I will add you all to the USG box, which is where we keep our records and our past resolutions or agendas and packets. So I will be doing that soon. If you haven't already, please request membership on UIC Connections so we can send out emails to you all. And last but not least, please join the USG GroupMe if you haven't already. It's super important that you're in the loop with what we're doing. And a lot of communication happens through GroupMe throughout the year. So please join if you haven't already. Next, we had the Mental Health Commission meeting. As Quinn mentioned, he was in attendance and we spoke about funding guidelines. Thank you for all the reps that came. So we also introduced MHC to the new members. If you did not receive my email last week, or if you just were not able to attend, but you're still interested in joining, please email or talk to me after the meeting. Some upcoming events, we're going to be holding a Mental Health Commission kickoff where we invite a bunch of student orgs that are related to mental health and also mental health workers on campus, just to introduce the commission. Last but not least, I conducted interim speaker applications over the past couple of weeks, and I'm very pleased to say that Yasmin Aladwan has been selected as our interim speaker. We will be planning the USG social within the next coming weeks as well, which is always super exciting, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you all. So just please remember to do those forms by tonight, and let me know if you have any questions. Sorry, are there any questions regarding this report? If not, then the report of the speaker will be filed. Next, we have the report of the chief of staff.
Hello, everyone. I'll start off with, well, I guess my last week report wasn't that full, but I had check-in meetings. I guess it was that week too. And directors are working hard on their initiatives. I met with the Resident Housing Association with other USG leadership to discuss collaborations and just, get a rundown of happenings on campus. We had our board meeting on Friday and went very well, but just a reminder to board members, we will not be having a board meeting this week. They are now bi-weekly, so I'll see you next Friday, not this Friday. As for this week, check-in meetings are happening this week again. I already had 2 today, so make sure to remember to come to your time. And if I rescheduled with you, please show up to your rescheduled time. And I also met with UIC Police Chief Booker with Matthew to discuss collaborations, and he discussed those. So make sure to check out what we post on our social media, also plugging the UIC Police Department trainings they've started hosting again. So they're like self-defense trainings, just safety awareness. So great opportunity to become a more aware citizen on campus. Also attended the Dean of Students meeting with Matthew today to discuss collaborations and just understand DOS's role more, and how we can utilize that in USG. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions regarding Abby's report? If not, then the report of the chief of staff will be filed. Next, we have the report of the diversity and inclusion chair.
Hello, everybody. So this week, as considered my report, we will not be award on this cultural fair event that I'm doing. But basically, it's an event that I want to do with like cultural student organizations on campus, and kind of just showcase like dance and like art and different things that students and student organizations do that can really be showcased. Student involvement here. I'm a little bit out of breath, sorry about that. But yeah, so that's something I've been working with the cultural centers on doing. I had 2 meetings set up this week with the Asian American Resource Cultural Center and Women's Leadership Resource Center. If you guys have any questions about the event, or I don't know, want to help out or have any questions for the cultural centers, reach out to me. I'll also be coming by the Gender and Sexuality Center and the Latino Cultural Center this week. So if you guys have any questions for them as well, please let me know. Yeah, so that's my report. Do you have any questions?
Thank you so much. Are there any questions regarding this report? If not, then the report of the Diversity and Inclusion Chair will be filed. Next, we read the report of the Legislative Affairs Chair.
Hello, everyone. As mentioned numerous times already, I just want to congratulate all of you who were recently elected. I think it's great. I'm so excited to work out with all of you. Some updates. I met with Mick Crumbach on last Tuesday, to discuss details for a forum that I will host next January. The forum will basically be a mayor's debates with the upcoming individuals who are running for the mayor of Chicago. Hope to bring them to UIC and host the debates. So that's in the works, and I'm so excited to make that happen. 2, I met with Lizzie LaChapelle, who is a graduate student working with the UIC Student Leadership and Civic Engagements, to discuss the logistics of hosting a school-wide competition to increase voter registration for the upcoming election in November. The idea is to get student organizations paid for voter registration. It's in the works, but thank you for Quinn for keeping the conversation ongoing. So once again, thank you for that. Some exciting news. I recently accepted the vice president position for the campus collaboration for the Student Advocacy Coalition. I'm so excited to work with the organization and lobby for students, especially on the upcoming lobby date next semester in spring. Some more exciting news. I was able to speak with Dr. Mitzi Ramos on Saturday to discuss the logistics of implementing an internship program for Lattice. It's a program I've been working on since my freshman year. It's finally in the works. The biggest thing I want to happen is to provide students with internships, and most importantly, get them paid for doing so. The biggest question is, where is the money going to come from? I think that students shouldn't work for free. I think we should all get paid for the work we do. So she gave me the idea of going to Springfield, drawing up the internship program design plan, showing it to legislators, and demanding for $2.5 million for this internship program, and that will also go to Lattice. So if any of you are interested in helping with any of these initiatives of mine, make sure to apply for the Legislative Affairs Committee. And I'm so excited to work with all of you. And again, if anyone has any questions or concerns or ideas about LAC, you can contact me through my email right here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions regarding this report? Chair recognizes Sophia.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Not a question, but yeah, lobbying is a very big thing that we're trying to bring back to student government. So yeah, any more details will come to that once it comes. But yeah, I'm really glad you brought up the unpaid internship. So yeah, I think that's a very great initiative to work on. Yeah, I was thinking we can also try to get alumni money towards the current program we have called the Flames Internship Grant, which comes from, I believe, a donation from Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. Yes, yeah. But yeah, she gave a lot of money to UIC, and yes. So yeah, she gave large money to that program, but the money's running out. So I think we need to contact alumni relations to see if we can kind of get USG in there to get maybe fundraise some money for the Flames Internship Grant. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And I think what you're all going to realize as time goes on is that money runs the world. And with that, people become really stingy with money. So lobbying is extremely important. As Matthew mentioned, lobbying is extremely important and it will get things done. So if any of you have any ideas, please let me know. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments regarding this report? If not, then the report of the Legislative Affairs Chair will be filed. Next, we have the report of the Public Affairs Committee Chair.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say congrats to the new reps. I look forward to working with all of you and meeting the new members in my own committee. So the last 2 weeks, I attended the Democratic rally with Matthew and Chair. And I also went over restarting the newsletter project with Chief of Staff Abby on Tuesday during our weekly director meetings. And we had some great ideas along with some first steps. We also went over my buddy system where new reps are paired with old reps, but that is put on hold for now since I'm working out some logistics. And the web admin application, once it closed, we conducted about 8 interviews, me and Chief of Staff Abby, and we did select, we selected an applicant. We're looking to hear back from him. I also reached out to Emily Ann, Associate Director of Student and Recent Alumni Engagement, to formally introduce myself and establish a relationship. And this week I spoke with Matthew, our president, about establishing a calendar of events for reps to engage with the UIC community and making a template for our Instagram for uniformity. And then I also joined our e-board meeting on Friday, which is now not so weekly. That's it. If you have any questions, you can ask now or email me.
Yeah, an update. The applicant did accept the position, so we do have a web administrator now. He just has to go through onboarding. And then once he's onboarded and trained, I think he'll join us for the next assembly meeting.
Are there any other questions or comments regarding this report? Yes, congrats. He's not here. All right, if not, then the report of the Public Affairs Chair will be filed. Next, we have the report of the Student Success Chair. Who's on Zoom?
All right, hi everyone. So first of all, just like to say congratulations to all the new representatives to USG and just welcome. And I look forward to working with you all this semester. So I will be sending out a follow-up email to Emily Ann for alumni relations and its connection to scholarships. So just a quick update, I did have a meeting with Ms. Lauren Gallagher today on had that event with her, and we've thought a lot about logistics, and I'm actually in the works of scheduling a meeting with Treasurer Quinn so we can talk about the budget and how much money we'll be putting into the career readiness event. And so that's just about that. And last Friday I bumped into Ray Joyce, and she was just asking about the different initiatives SSC has planned. And so I told her about career readiness, and she gave an idea about doing a collaborating event on a workshop, which would be like finding your strengths workshop that students could like add to the resumes, and that would help them with like career opportunities. So I will be working with her on that. So that will be another event that a student success committee will be working on. And I yield for questions.
Success Chair will be filed. Next, we have the report, or lastly, we have the report of the Campus Life Chair.
Hey everyone, once again, welcome to all the new representatives. Just know that you all have the most voice here on campus, so your vote does matter ultimately. So just take that how you will. But within these past 2 weeks, since we didn't do officer reports last week, I sat in the Chancellor's Committee on the status of LGBTQ+ people to hear what their stance was on Chick-fil-A. So for those of you who were here the first meeting, you kind of know the situation. For those who weren't, ultimately, a whole bunch of the dining services are under review. So I'm part of the RFP committee. So one of the dining services that is under review is Chick-fil-A to see whether or not they'll come back on campus for the next decade. So there's a lot of implications with Chick-fil-A. So ultimately, the Chancellor's Committee and the Gender and Sexuality Center do not want Chick-fil-A back on campus. So this is something we'll be discussing as a general body in future meetings to kind of see what the opinions are of the students. So if you know anyone who's a part of the LGBT community who would like to kind of have their voices be heard, you can advocate for them or have them come to one of our meetings to advocate for themselves. Or if you're an ally yourself and you kind of align with that, the Director of Diversity and Inclusion, Manazi, will be taking charge of that matter. So in future reports, you'll learn more. Also, I forgot to include this in my report, but I met with Joy Vergara on September 14th to kind of discuss how the website is very confusing for organizations to actually rent or request spaces. So I myself, as a president of another organization, I found it very complicated and very confusing. So kind of some good constructive criticism to kind of improve the experience for e-board members here of organizations here at UIC. And then on September 19th, I met with RHA President Sydney, with President Matthew and Chief of Staff Abigail to discuss security concerns on the South Campus. So ultimately, there is no emergency panic buttons at the front desks of MRH and TBH. But Campus Housing has communicated that they have contacted the appropriate departments necessary to get those installed. So overall, that is a security concern. So that's on the radar. And then we also were trying to find ways of incorporating RHA and USG together. For those who don't know, RHA is the Resident Hall Association. So all people who live on campus in the dorms are members, but ultimately they're the governing body advocating for the students who live in campus housing. In addition, I went to the e-board meeting last Friday. We were very excited to get the committee starting up again. So we had a little informational session for our e-board members to kind of go about how committee meetings will be run this year. I received an email as well from a person named Soa, working on a campaign regarding safety protocols in campus housing. Not too sure who this individual is and what administration or department they're a part of, but I'm ultimately going to meet with them to kind of see what information they're getting. They're looking to file a FOIA request from UICPD. FOIA is Freedom of Information Act. So anyone can request that for any public information to be accessible to the people. And then lastly, as midterms approach, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Mental health is very important. I know we're all very involved here, but just make sure you take care of yourself and in order to excel to the best of your abilities. So I yield my time for questions. Thank you.
Are there any questions regarding Felix's report? If not, then the report of the campus site will be filed. Next, the next order of business is announcements. Are there any announcements?
I just want to reiterate, please fill out that form that I sent everyone. I sent it in the email as well as the group meet. It is extremely important that I get your responses because I'd like to place this order for next week ASAP. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah, I realized I forgot to say something in my report, so I'll say it as an announcement. Yeah, regarding Felix's report on campus safety and meeting with the RSA president and their leadership. So next week, I'm going to be introducing a resolution regarding USG commissions and specifically the USG Campus Safety Commission, which is the entity that will be focusing on campus safety across campus, whether that's here in the student center or campus housing. It's going to look at campus safety all across campus, maybe in the neighborhoods that surround UIC. And so please look forward to that. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on it. So when the meeting packet is sent, please read over the resolution, make sure it makes sense, and make sure there's no loopholes in it. But yeah, that's all for my announcement.
Are there any other announcements? I have an announcement. Please fill out the committee preference and orientation forms. This will be very important for planning the coming weeks. It'll literally affect all the work you do here at USG. So yeah, please fill it out. I'll also send it in the group me, which you should be part of as well. Quinn already sent his form. So yeah, that's my announcement. If there are no more announcements, we will move on to the next order of business, which is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? There's been a motion to, or sorry, it has been moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? If not, the ayes have it, and the meeting is now adjourned at 6:51 PM.